Hi everyone, Nicolette from The End of Life Care. Today I just wanted to share with you a summary of a conversation that I had as a community conversation with the Perth Fire Community, Sacred Fire Community on the weekend. I normally run community conversations around topics around death and dying, but this month we joined together with the Sacred Fire Community to explore a topic that we called Unspoken. And the essence of it was, it came from a project in the UK where people were given the opportunity to write down the things that they'd left unspoken after somebody had died. And it was really beautiful to see what people had written. And it got us thinking, well, what is it that we say or we don't say, and how does that affect our relationships? And we started with a short quote, which went, "Life is too short to leave the important things left unsaid." And then we started exploring that. And I just want to go through a few of the points that I took away from the conversation, because it was a very rich and juicy conversation on the night. Lots of people really shared some beautiful experiences that they had. And the first thing that we sort of explored was what it takes to actually say something that you feel you need to say to another person, and the courage that you need to draw on to do that, because you don't know how what you're going to say is going to be received. There's potential loss that the relationship will be changed in some way, or that the relationship will actually dissolve and that person will move out of your life. So we explored that a little bit, and the courage and the anxiety as well that it builds, and how to do that, what's important when of doing that. And if you don't say what you need to say and express really your true self, and that's what it was about, expressing what was true to you and what you were feeling, then if you don't say it, what does that leave the relationship like? Is it there an energetic, people talk about like an energy there, and like the elephant in the room that then actually drove a wedge into the relationship because it was never spoken. It's that thing of, do you say something or don't you? And the pros and cons of both choices. And also talked about like sitting with something before you speak, before you want to have that important conversation. Just really stepping back and taking the time for yourself to really work out what it is, so that when you do speak, it is from your true self and from your heart and with love, rather than a reaction or from a space of anger or from a more negative, maybe judgmental space. So sort of explored what that looks like for ourselves. And then on the flip side, we looked at, being on the other side of the conversation, and, if we don't express what we need to express, what are we denying the other person? We're denying them the opportunity to know how we feel, the opportunity to perhaps resolve that between you, the opportunity for them to grow. They might not even be aware of what they're doing and saying, and if we don't express that to them, then they don't get that opportunity to have that insight and to have the choice to change that. So it's just as important for you to speak your true self for yourself as it is to allow that person the opportunity to change and grow as well. And then we've talked about how when we've had people say important things that they needed to say to us, and how that felt, and really talked about if it's delivered with love, with respect, and in a gentle way, how it's easier to take that on and to look at it than if it comes from a place of somebody being critical or negative. So it sort of made us then think, well, if we are going to have to say something to somebody, that if we can remember to do it from a place of love, a place of respect, and do it gently, then that will be well received from other people. And I guess we explored lots of things, and it brought up lots of things for people about their relationships in their families and different communication styles that, you know, even sometimes when you try to have these conversations, the other people just don't get it, or they're not seeing it, or they've got a different way of communicating. So it was a really, juicy conversation. It brought up a lot of things for people. And, you know, how do you, if the other person's not open to what you have to say, how do you come to terms with that for yourself? How do you move forward with that? And, you know, do you just accept that that's how they are and let it be, or do you keep trying? Do you let the relationship go? It was really interesting to look at all of that and work it through. And I don't think we came up with any real big solutions or anything, but I think it just helped everyone get a bit of a deeper understanding about it and seeing the importance of being true to yourself. And I guess the essence of it was that it all comes back to love, that if we love ourselves enough to express our true selves, we love other people enough that we want to express what we need to say so that we can develop that relationship and deepen that relationship. So it all came down to love, that if we were loving of others and open, that is a common essence to the whole thing. So I hope that was of interest to you. I really found it really interesting. I hope it just gets you thinking about, are you hanging on to things that you need to say, important things that you need to say to somebody in your life, and how will you go about that? And, you know, getting support is another good way. So that was something else that came up, that, you know, you can get some support from other people to come in and just, you know, help with that process, or maybe have an outside perspective that can help all the parties involved to work through what needs to be said. And I guess that's, as a doula, that's part of my role, is to support people to facilitate those conversations and work through that, so that the relationship isn't lost, or things aren't held on to the point where somebody dies and you don't get that opportunity to say what you need to say to them, something that you probably really would like them to know. So thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to talking to you again another time. Thank you.